Hi everyone, welcome to Youth Cafe. My name is ITHAGU and I'm standing in for Yves Kudhani for this episode. Now today, as you can see, we are in Pwani University and we are here to have conversation with the guys, with the youths about different things that are affecting them. Today's episode we are joined by two guests and they are going to have we are going to hear from them. They are going to tell us what their thoughts are about this topic. The topic is addiction. We want to know how does addiction affect us, you know, as young people. There are many things that we have been addicted to, and we are going to learn more about that. So we are going to be asking ourselves how do we avoid getting addicted to different things, and also we are going to be hearing their stories about the things that they have been able to conquer. So I want now to introduce them, their guests, and starting from my left, he introduced himself, then he is going to tell us the story about an addiction that he has been able to conquer. Karibu sana to the show.
Okay, thank
Karibu
you.
guys.
Okay. Guys, Hastings Blodine, a student here at Pwani University. I pursue bachelor's in arts economics, and I'm grateful to join my brother in these discussions of today organized by the Youth Cafe. From my own perspective, I have been through a lot as a youth. Back at home, I come from Kisumu, and past in my years of my lifetime, I've been undergoing different occasions. One of them is that at a point I was a street child, and from there I was into addiction, that is drugs, use, sniffing of glue, use of petroleum, and at a point I really admired to go back to school, but the sequences by which I could follow, they were not available. I opted to find a scholar to help me out of this, though I was not that good at all in the things that I used to do, and I was really not much into that perspective of Christianity. I met with a group when I was young, that is in class 6, and I was still in the streets of Kisumu, and somebody talked to me on this Christ, a group called Blue Cross. I don't know if you know it. It is located in Kisumu. So they started talking to me about the concept of sobriety, how you can be sober, a youth that can avoid some circumstances in life. You see, in streets there, I could do anything. All immoral things that I could do there were there available. Usiku ungepata watu wanafanya different activities, and you could even involved in stealing. So I used to be taken at home, but due to that mindset in street, I could return back because I thought that is a point of enjoyment. That is the only way that I could enjoy my life. Only to come and realize later when it was in 2016, I've already become an adult, and I was supposed to do my KCPE exams, and through that I had to intervene with my mind and come back to my senses after I've been talked to. I was told that occasions are there for every person, but how do you avoid them? You just have to think about yourself and think about your future. I therefore decided to go back to class, though I never went through class 7, class 6, class 5, and this is my true story because it's the really deeper inside of me. I need you to hear it from me, and through that I went back to class, sat behind the doors and decided to read. I had to eliminate the mindset of using drugs. Even if you can see my teeth, you can learn from that. It's the glue, the things that I used to do in street, and possibly they were not good, but I overcame it only by sitting back, relaxing, thinking about my future, and being taught to the concept of sobriety and knowing God. That is all that I came to know. That through Christ, because the group also took me through the church perspective, and throughout my life after class 8, I've been struggling through a lot. Sometimes I lie about myself, and I think it ain't appropriate of me thinking of that. But I thank God because I overcame the point that drugs are no longer part of my life. They are no longer things that I do. I know that different youths pass through different types of addiction. Different youths pass through different situations that makes them to be glued into some circumstances. Here at the university we have some that have engaged in immorality, wanaita kupiga sherehe. Wengine they have just ended up into drugs. Some of them have turned their minds glued into what we call the academic sequence, that they cannot think of any other thing in their life but only about reading. That is a form of addiction. But I want to tell you that there are different ways that we can all overcome this circumstance and think of something else to do in our lives. We can also think of how to grow ourselves to other perspectives, to other things, that we ourselves as the youths can overturn the things that we see. I want to remind all my fellow youths that even if you sit back, do all your things without aiming at a success, it's nothing. I want to remind you that although you do all those, success without a successor is nothing. Also be inspired to change from your current forms and try to learn something new, so that through Christ who strengthens us, then we shall really know more about ourselves. Thank you. That has been part of me, and we are continuing.
Now, thank you so much. Tell me your name.
I'm Hastings.
Hastings. Wow, that's good. And as Hastings was talking about being addicted to books, and I just imagined if there's any parent watching, he would say, okay, I want my son to be addicted to books. I want that kind of addiction. But I think I hope you have understood that too much of something is poisonous. I think that's what you want to say. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good story. I know we can have more conversation about that. When was that? When did you last drink your last glue?
It was back in the year 2015 when I was in class 7. That is December 15th. I still remember the dates very well.
Wow. So that's 7 years ago.
Yeah, 7 years ago.
Okay.
And I turned away from it and decided to go back to class, and also change my life because I had a different perspective about myself after I learned everything is going negative about myself. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's nice. We have another story. Kuja karibu. So tell us your name, tell us about your story.
Okay, I'm Joseph Mashira. I'm a first year here at Pwani University, and I'm very proud to be here. And my story is like a short one, though I haven't been to so many addictions, and but I remember I was introduced to addiction of pornography and masturbation by my friends. And you see, I was in class 6 then, and this thing of the phones and the internet was into our minds, and we used to think that when you have a phone you are the most, yani unajihisi kibazu, so
wendo mwenyewe.
yeah, una feel wendo mwenyewe. And so when I had that phone, my friends started involving me into watching things that corrupted my mind, and it reached to a point, I remember I was trying to get that thing out of me. Class 8, I'm trying to study, but that thing is still in me. And I came to high school, I'm trying, but the thing is still torturing my mind, and it came to a point. I also remember I was in Form 4, just some few months, and you see, when I decided to leave that thing, it's decision. You see, many of the youth thinks that for you to stop doing that, you need to undergo sijui uwekelewe mikono, uombewe, but decision. When you make a decision in your mind, that thing is over. But the thing that makes us think that we cannot go from that thing is ile umejietea perspective ya siwezi acha mpaka niwekelewe mikono, mpaka niombewe. But I decided, and after deciding, that thing has never bothered me again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Guys, you can hear these are very inspiring stories. Sometimes we think, that these things are just in the movies, that, it's not, or people don't want to come out and talk about these things. But as we have heard from our friend here, these things are real, they are happening. And do you know your friends who maybe we are in the same addiction, that maybe you can, that, okay, I have a few friends that even right now, they are still suffering from that?
Not even one. Not even one, because you see, many of the youths thinks that is being now the youth. Anaona sasa amefika. That's why if you just go around, chukua tu simu ya youth yoyote, I'm telling you, everywhere wameweka safety measures there because they don't want you to see the things that they watch, you see. And I can tell many of the youths are into that. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So we have talked about two difficult addictions, and personally I had addiction of when I was growing up. I had just addiction of going to the internet, spending a lot of hours, especially when we are growing up. Sisi ni ile time ya when was that, nikiwa high school, that was around 2008 2009. Hiyo ndio zile simu za internet zilikuwa zishafika sasa. So I had this Nokia colored that could access internet. Then after finish Form 4, there's nothing I was thinking about. I would spend like 9 hours continuous kwa simu hivi nikiangalia I thought I was trying to explore, but I realized that the more I went on, then zile for smartphones za 2013 akina IDOS zikafika, and I had a certain corner nilikuwa naishi pale chini, so nikitulia tu nachukua, kuna wifi, I would go and spend a lot of hours on phone, and that I came to realize that much later that was very addictive. I couldn't stay away from the phone. I had to do a lot of work and pray about it, and when you pray about it, these things zitaisha. But I can tell you, even right now, it's hard for me to stay with the phone for many hours. I can say that I conquered that one. So there are many people here, as you can see, who are suffering from these addictions. I want you guys to talk to them, tell them something, tell them one piece of advice.
Okay, to my perspective, let me start by saying that first we have to realize that our choices have consequences, and to a point that we come to self-realization is when we can only avoid a circumstance. I can give examples like of a story of Job in the Bible, whom he was even tempted by the wife and told that turn away from that God which is not giving you those things that you want. And you see, he had to make up his own mind and turn away from the wife and say that let me curse the belly that gave birth to me. You see, so we as the youths, we can always turn away from that which we have put into our mindset. I want to say that these are things, nothing is perfect. We all say that perfect is a scenario. which we can all create by ourselves. When you are addicted too much to something, you can always turn that and think of another perfect thing to do. You can always turn from that point that you think or that circumstance. Maybe if it is the stress that is causing you to do that, you can always find an alternative way to overcome the stress. If you are so much having some friends that you see is so difficult to run away from them, you can also withdraw slowly. It's not a must you start leo tu nimesema acha niwache. No, you do it progressively. You do it in a way that is that is pleasing, that you cannot appease somebody or make somebody disappointed at all, but also you make yourself become that which you want. Back in Kisumu, I always engage so much with the youths, and I do it through an organization, sorry for that, called Blue Cross Kisumu, and we talk with the youths mostly on the issues of drugs. Our parents, I want to encourage my fellow youth, saying that we know that at home you pass through a lot. Some of you have come from that background which is wanting, but if your background is some of you come also from that which is, they are very good and your parents are well off, but you think only of how to sustain yourself. Sustain yourself in a perspective that is pleasing to God. Remember in the book of Revelation 22 that says that let the evildoer still do evil, but remember God is coming with the recompense to repay everyone in accordance to what you've done. Are the things that you're doing good before you, and before that the person that created you, and also before those who you wish to come after you? So thank you.
Nice one. I hope we are going to hit to that advice. Tell us your final shot.
Okay. For me, I can say that if you read in the book of Romans 12:2, it says that do not be conformed by the things of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. You see, sin doesn't come from just sin, but from the thinking. When you see something and it's sent into the mind, that's now goes to the heart and becomes a sin, because you must get it out, you see. But if our minds will be renewed by God, you see, there is no sin. There is no sin, and we won't find ourselves into a point that we are being addicted into these negative things. What I will just tell my fellow youths is that instead of thinking about other things, instead of going into the internet to look for some other things, just you can have that time, go and read the word, and just don't be idle. That's the key point. Don't be idle, because that is the main thing that brings us into that thinking and whatever those. Yeah.
Okay. They say that idle mind is devil's workshop. Wow.
Yeah, I will also love to say that we should also remember what we consume is what makes us to be addicted. In computer we say giggle, garbage in, garbage out. Yeah. So what you take in is what will come out of you. Your consumption will bring an effect in your life. So let's always remember that.
Wow, thank you so much. And guys, if there's any book that you should be addicted to, or if you must be addicted to any book, please let it be the Bible. Yeah, there we know you're going to get a lot of word, you're going to get a lot of encouragement, you're going to be renewed. But your mind is going to be renewed. So guys, you have had a lot of information, at least umejua tuko university, a lot of content coming up. A lot of wisdom coming up. So we really thank you, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe, and we hope to see you soon. God bless you.
Thank you.